Shalom, it's Tehila from the Kifar with another Hebrew verb lesson. We are on lesson 39. We are continuing to learn conjugation patterns for Hifil verbs in the past tense. And we're going to add another another group pattern, rather, not another binyan. We're still in the same Hifil binyan, but we're going to add another group pattern in today's lesson. But before we do that, as always, I am going to go over the exercises that I gave you in the last video, lesson number 38, just to make sure that we are all up to speed before moving on. And as a reminder, if you like my videos, like them, share, leave your comments, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you are interested in studying Hebrew online beyond these videos, go to thekafar.com/Hebrew and you can sign up for private lessons or join a group class. Okay, so in our last lesson, lesson 38, we learned the conjugation pattern for what we call the O group of Hifil verbs. And these are Hifil verbs where the infinitives, okay, that to form of the verb starts with leho as opposed to our usual leha. And the first example verb that I gave you was lehovil, which is to lead. And as always, we want to get rid of that initial lamed, and we are left with hovil, which is the same as third person past tense, masculine singular, or he in the past tense. So hu hovil, he led. And then for she, we have he hovila, which is basically just hovil with a hey at the end. And then hem and hen hovilu. So hu hovil, he hovila, hem, hen hovilu. And so our sound patterns for these three, our hey pronouns, hu, he, and him, hen, are all oi, okay? Oi from hovil, hovila, and hovilu. And for the rest, they are going to be oa. So ani hovalti, okay? We went from hovil to hoval. So ani hovalti, ata hovalta, at hovalt, anachnu hovalnu, atem hovaltem, and aten hovalten. Okay, so hovalti, hovalta, hovalt, hovil, hovila, hovalnu, hovaltem, hovalten, hovilu. And our second verb was lehosif, which is to add. Get rid of that lamed, and we're left with hosif, which is the same as he in the past tense. So hu hosif, he added. He hosifa, she added. Hem, hen, hosifu, they added. Okay, so we hear again, it's O-E, and now we're going to go to O-A. So ani hosafti, as opposed to hosif. Ata hosafta, at hosaft. Anachnu hosafnu, atem hosaftem, and aten hosaften. Okay, so hosafti, hosafta, hosaft, hosif, hosifa, hosafnu, hosaftem, hosaften, and hosifu. Okay, so this is our conjugation pattern for the O group of Hifil verbs. Again, this was lesson number 38 if you want to go back and review. If you still have questions, make sure that you come to one of the live Q&A sessions that I offer to Patreons, patreon.com/thekifar, and you'll be able to see the dates. I host 2 of them every month, so you'll be able to see the dates and you can come to one or both, just depending on whatever tier you choose. You can also just leave your questions in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to everyone. Okay, so now we are going to continue on to another group of Hifil verbs and learn that past tense conjugation pattern. And this is the Vav Tav group. And in case you don't remember, but I'm sure that you do, what we call Vav Tav verbs are verbs where the infinitive ends in a Vav and a Tav. Okay, and when we find the root, we convert that Vav Tav into a Hey. And when we do that, we're left with Hir Sha. Okay, our Hey, the Resh, the Shin, and this Vav Tav has become a Hey. So the verb that we're using is leharshot, and this is to permit or to allow. And so when we strip it down to hirsha, that's the same as he in the past tense. So hu hirsha, he permitted or he allowed. Okay, and you'll notice that with, just like with a lot of the other group of Hifil verbs, we need that initial hey in the past tense. So it's not technically part of the root if we strip it all the way down to its 3 letters, but we do need it in our past tense conjugation. So that's why we left it here. Okay, and you'll see that it appears at the beginning of all of the past tense conjugations for both our hey pronouns and our aleph pronouns. So we have hu hirsha, he allowed, and then we're going to skip down to him and hen hirshu. Okay, so we don't have this final hey in our root, we just have the resh and the shin, those 2 letters. So hem hirshu, they allowed or they permitted masculine, and hen hirshu. And now let's go back up to he. So generally, we have our masculine past tense verb, and then we add a he to it, and that makes it feminine, so a. And then we add a vav to it, and that makes it plural for u. However, hirsha is masculine, hu hirsha. So we can't add another he to that. So what we do is add a tav. So hirsha is he allowed or he permitted. He hirshita. Okay, she allowed or she permitted. So again, we're keeping that initial hey. We have our resh and our shin. We don't have this final hey. We have a ta at the end. Okay, tav and hey. So hirsha versus hirshita. So hu hirsha, he hirshita, and him hen hirshu. Okay, so whereas we had hirsha, okay, that was the base for our he pronouns. For all of our aleph pronouns, our sound pattern is going to be e as opposed to a. So instead of hirshati, it's hirsheti. Okay, so ani hirsheti. Again, here we have our two letters, the resh and the shin, and in none of these are we going to see our he. We just have those first two letters of our root. So ani hirsheti, ata hirsheta, at hirshet, anachnu hirshenu, atem hirshetem, and aten hirshetem. Okay, and now let's look at this with the actual letters filled in instead of the boxes. So again, we have leharshot, which is to permit or to allow. Get rid of that lamed, turn this vav tav into a hey, and we're left with hirsha, which is the same as he in the past tense. So hu hirsha, he allowed, and here we see our hey appears here. He hirshita. Okay, so in place of this hey, we're going to fill in a tav and a hey. So hu hirsha, he allowed. He hirshita, she allowed. And then him, hen, hirshu. Okay, they allowed, masculine and feminine. And then we have ani hirsheti. Okay, so we went from sha to she. Ani hirsheti. Ata hirsheta. At hirshet. Anachnu hirshenu. Atem hirshetem, and aten hirsheten. Okay, and also notice that we only have that first or that final hey that we converted the vav tav to. We only have it in hu. Okay, so he in the past tense. In all of the other conjugations, it drops out. Okay, so hu hirsha, he hirsheta, hem hen hirshu, ani hirsheti, ata hirsheta, at hirshet, anachnu hirshenu, atem hirshetem, and aten hirshetem. Okay, so as always, you have two exercise verbs, and you are going to use what we learned today to conjugate both of these vav tav hifil verbs in the past tense. And so the first verb is laha'alot, which is to raise or to increase, also to upload. And the second verb is lahashvot, which is to compare. Okay, so laha'alot and lahashvot, and as you can see, they are both vav tav hifil verbs. Okay, and then for lesson 40, we are of course going to go over these exercises, but if you have questions beforehand, again, you can come to one of the live Q&A sessions, go to patreon.com/thekifar for the dates, or you can just leave your comments in the video and I will get back to you. Okay, so that's all for today. Toda latzfia. Like this video, share, subscribe to my channel, leave your comments, and connect with me on social media. Again, if you want to learn Hebrew online, thekifar.com/Hebrew is where you want to go. You can sign up for group lessons or private lessons, and all the information that you need is there. And you can, of course, join the Patreon community to become a supporter and also get access to videos that don't appear anywhere else. Okay, so that's all for today. Zeu, toda latzfia, and I will see you for the next video. Lehitraot.